What is up? June 6th, 2026, weekly update. Highlight of this week. Actually, it was a pretty short conversation, pretty straightforward conversation on what my favorite place to be is. I was taking care of a table. If you don't know, I'm a server. I was taking care of a table just yesterday, and a nice table, two couples, friends getting together, catching up, doing their whole thing. They took their time the whole night, so it wasn't too difficult of a table. I like slow tables because they can just sit there, they can eat, and that lets me put my time towards the rest of my section and keep everything else caught up. So as the night was going on, occasionally here and there, I would go over and I'd talk to him. And this particular instance, when I went up and talked to him, I noticed that one of my teammates was actually just talking to them beforehand. And so she walked away. And after she walked away, I walked up because I was like, was there something wrong? Or were they just talking and everything? And I was just like, is everything good? You guys all right? And they're like, oh, yeah, yeah. We were just talking to her about different bars and different restaurants that we could go to after here to, you know, continue the night. Right. And so they asked me like, what's my favorite bar? Right. And I told them like, well, I don't really have a favorite bar because I don't drink. So I never really have a reason to be in a bar. I didn't mention that I do stand up comedy because the irony being that I'm actually in bars like all the time because a lot of open mics are at bars. But I didn't want to bring it up. So I just tell them that. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, what is your favorite place? Like what is your favorite place to be then? Like where do you like to be if you could be anywhere? And I thought about it for a moment, and the lady was just like, "Is it home? I bet you would like to be at home." And I was like, "No, I like home. I like being at home." Yeah. But then after I thought about it for a little bit, I was like, I actually really like being at church, right? I'm like, "Oh, that's really nice." I'm just like, "Yeah, no, I really like being at church." And they asked me, where do I stay, like what area, and I told them the Heights. I don't generally tell people that guests at work, that I live in a van, 'cause then that's a whole other conversation. And sometimes I don't want to have a conversation with people. I just want to take care of them. When I have the right table and the right vibe and the right group of people who I'm just vibing with and I'm connecting with, then I'll tell them that I live in a van. But I tell them, I usually just say like, "Oh, I usually stay in the Heights." And so out of that, they asked me like, "Well, what church do I go to?" Um, and I told them the church that I go to, and so they said that they were thinking about, trying to find a church and everything like that. And I told them that honestly, when I moved to Houston, for the first 3, 4 months, I just church hopped. I just tried out churches. I went to this one, I went to that one, I went to this one, I went to that one. Just trying to find the right church. And so told him that I went to a church in the Heights for a bit and I really liked it, but there was nothing going on in the form of ministry or volunteer opportunities, or they didn't make it easy to find, right? So through a series of events, I ended up going to an event for a different church. And then through that event, I ended up just going to that church, which is the church that I go to now. And no, it was a really just nice, short, simple conversation on me going to church and then them asking me about what church I go to. And uh, basically like them wanting to go to church, but they really didn't know how to get started. And I told them exactly what I did, which is like just pick churches and just go to them. Like there's so many different churches, um, not just in Texas, but like in Houston, or rather, not just in Houston, but in Texas, right? Like it's such, there's so many options to choose from that you can find a church. And I've said this before, even before I moved to Houston when I was in San Antonio. um I had said the same thing, which is like there's so many churches, just try them out. Go to a mass, go to a service, and see how you feel about it. And if you don't vibe with it, that's totally fine. Go to a different one. And if you like it, cool. Go back again. See if you like it again. And do that over a period of a few months. And eventually you find the spot that for whatever reason you like it. And so you keep going back. And there you go. Now you get involved and you figure out, what can you do at the church and how can you get more involved and how can you volunteer and so on and so forth. So it was just nice, honestly. It was just a nice, short, simple conversation. Didn't last maybe no longer than 5 minutes, if that. I'd say maybe closer to three. They didn't ask me a lot of questions. It was more me talking about my experience and basically saying everything that I just said right now. But that was it. So, you know, cleared their table, gave them some dessert menus. They didn't want any dessert, so picked up the dessert menus, dropped the check. They paid out, and I was taking care of another table, talking with them. And so, right as I was leaving from that table, they got up and they were leaving out. And the lady who had asked me questions on like the churches and everything, she like put out her hand and she's like, "Thank you very much. Like it was nice to meet you." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, right?" And that was it. That was it. They left. And I don't know. She seemed to really appreciate my input on how to find a church, right? And that was just it was just a nice, kind human experience, you know? I don't I don't get those all the time at work. They're not infrequent. Um, but this one stood out because, well, it was about church and it was about how to find one, and it was something that, I've gone through and that I've done. And she shook my hand afterward and she was like, "It was really nice to meet you." And so, yeah, nice little moment. Other than that, I mean, the rest of the week, bought some new clothes on Wednesday. That took all day, but I I like buying clothes. I only do it once every like 4 or 5 years. Um, Tuesday, what did I do Tuesday? Tuesday, I did a bunch of little things here in Vanessa. And then Thursday was mics and writing and everything. So, straightforward week, nothing too crazy. Next week's gonna be a slower week because it's my brother's birthday. I'm gonna go see him, so I'm not gonna do any mics on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I already know that that's gonna be a thing. But other than that, we're good. Life is good. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to like and subscribe. And God bless. Peace signs.